Hello, and you're highly welcome into this tutorial where we are going to be focusing on how to create a website using Figma. So you'll simply go to figma.com and then you'll come to the top right corner and then you'll click on Get Started. Once you click on that, you'll be required to log in using your email and then password, or to create an account if you don't have one. Then you'll create your account using your email and your password, and then you'll verify that because a link will be sent to your email. And then after that, you'll now be able to access Figma. It will bring you to this default page where there is nothing. And so this is where we are going to be designing a nice website using Figma. How now do we begin that? Now, to begin with, I prefer to create the frame because if you notice this space, you don't know the dimensions of this space. So we are going to create a frame that will guide us on the web size. So I'll come up here and click on frame. Once I click on that, you notice on this side for the design, we have different frames from phone, tablet, and all that. I prefer using desktop, so I click on desktop. And then I select this one, desktop, that is 1440 by 1024. I click on that. And you notice now we have our frame here. It's visible from end to end. For our website, you need to have an idea of what you want. What website are you designing so that you'll have the right images to use on your website? So in this case, I've already decided that I want to create a website about a video editing company. So I've already pre-downloaded my images that I'll be using on my Figma website. And so I'll be using that. So it's good you download that. So up here, you notice we have assets. And under assets, you'll have the components. To create a component, you simply select a layer and click the create component button in the toolbar. I'll be showing you how to do that. And then you can also use the libraries for quick access to components from other files. So in this case, we are just going to be doing that from the scratch. So we want to start with our title here. So to insert a title in Figma, you simply come up here where you see T for text. You click on that, and then you click on your document, and then you can now type what you want. I want to call this one Victoria's Studios. So that is the text. It is too small. So to change the size, I'll highlight that text and then come to the right hand side, and you notice we have all these details about the location of the text, the alignment here. So for instance, if I click on horizontal, let me first enlarge that text so that it's visible enough. Let me change the font type here. To change that, you come under text here, and then you select one text here, and then I want it to be bigger. So let me select enlarge that to 128. So now I have my font there, Lato regular, that is it. I can change the color. I simply scroll down where we have fill here. Then let me put that to be red. That way. Then I close that. I can add stroke. Maybe I want it to have a yellow stroke. I simply click on stroke here. And then I choose the color of the stroke down here. You notice it is now black stroke. Let me add a yellow stroke. Then I can increase the size of the stroke by simply dragging this one sideways. You notice the stroke is now bigger. So I can adjust that. You notice if I make it bigger, this is how it looks like. I want it to be in the same position, but aligned at the center. So I'll click on that. So you notice the change. Let me just drag it sideways so that you notice the change. Assuming I had drawn it there, I simply click on that, comes at the center. If I want to align it at the top, I just click on that. Now my text is at the top. Now I can add an image to my website by simply dragging and dropping. So if I go to my downloads, you notice I have my images here that I had pre-downloaded. So I'll click on this one and drag and drop it on my website. So you notice now our image fits exactly on the frame that we created, but our text here has disappeared because of the layers here. So the layer at the top is the one that is visible. So, and you notice our text is already below. So to make sure our text is visible, I just click on that and drag it to the top so that now it appears on top of our image. Again, let me just drag it downward slightly. So that's how you do that. I can decide to reduce its opacity. So I'll put this one at 50. You can directly type 50 there by double clicking and typing 50, then enter. You notice now it is faded, and that is what I wanted. Now I can add another image the same way, just dragging and dropping. I drop it there. So, and my image is at the top. So I can decide where to place that image. Maybe I want it to be there. You notice if I type 60 here, our image takes this shape. And we can also drag this inwards to change that shape so that now we have such an image. So we can also add backgrounds or shapes here. So if I click on this square here, you notice we have all these things that we can draw: a rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, or even a star. So I'm going to use a star, but we use that the same way we use these others. But if you click on image here, that is another way for you to import an image. If I click on that, I can simply come back to my downloads and I'm able to select an image, and then I can just click on open. And then I decide, now you notice my image has been placed on my cursor. It's moving with my cursor. Then I can decide where to drop my image. I simply click on that. Then I can now enlarge my image to fit what I would want. So now with this text, I'll add our mission. So I'll type our mission there. This is how you can add texts and edit them, and also how you can add images. So I can also add other elements like stars here. I can simply click on star and then drag it where I want it to be. Then I can choose the color. You can also add widgets to your Figma by simply coming up here, clicking on that, and then you can look either at components, and you can browse the library to see all the components and the updates here. And currently we don't have any updates. You can also use the plugins. In this case, we already have the Figma to WordPress, and there's a different tutorial on how to convert your Figma web design to WordPress, and that tutorial is available in this YouTube channel. But you can also add widgets, and in this case, you can add a button that opens links, and you can also get those ones from community. And then you can also add annotations, just like the ones you can see here. So I'll just click on the first one here, and then I'll add the button, click on add. So you notice now we have our button added on this side, and we can now edit our button. We can drag it where we want it to be, and we can also rename it. Maybe I want this to be a contact us button. There's this cogwheel here. I'll click on that, and then I will rename it. Here, I'll type the label and maybe just call it contact us. Then down here, I'll give either a phone number or a link where they can contact us. Maybe a YouTube link, a Facebook, a WhatsApp link, whatever it is. In this case, let me just put a random number. And then I'll click on to current view so that I'm able now to view the shape. And so now I can click on close. So you notice now we have our contact us button here. It's this big, and if we want to reduce it, you notice we may not be able to drag that. So we can change that here, and a medium, we can choose the size. Titanic, too big. We can change that to be huge, too big. We can now change it to tiny. You now notice it is this small, but too small, so let's put it at small. So you notice now it's okay, it looks better for our page. We can also change this color, the blue color, to match the theme for our website. Maybe it's red. We click on this drop down arrow, and then we can choose one of the colors here for the shadow here. So now notice once I take the cursor there, it comes to that. So I can also drag it and place it where I want it, but I can also align it using this, just like we had done in the beginning, either the center, left, or even to the right. In this case, I just want to place it at the center, and let me make it medium so that it's bigger. So that's how you now notice you can add. If you now bring the cursor here and I click on this, it should lead me to the link that I have just added to my Figma. So the next thing, I'll show you how to add social media platforms or icons to your website on Figma. You simply come up here where we have the plus and other signs, where we have resources. You click on that, it brings you here, and you can search for icons. So you notice we have several sites where you can get your icons. So in this case, I can even directly look for a specific icon, maybe Facebook icon. Is it a Facebook? I click on Facebook. Then it's loading down here. You notice here it has been added. Then I also want to add my YouTube here. I click on that YouTube and it's added here. It's loading, icon added. Then I can close that. Now I can come back to my icons and arrange them to where I want them to be. Then the same way I added the link to contact us, I can simply also add the links to this one. But another thing, I can also group them so that once I move one, I'm able to move all of them. So I'm going to put them here. Then I click on all of them one at a time. And then now I can group them. And then I can also decide to lock them. You now notice if I try to click on any one of them, I'm not able to select them. And that helps you in the designing process so that you don't click on them by mistake and drag them. So I'll select a rectangle. I'll create a rectangle there. And I'll also create a triangle on top of it. And I'll put that for a different color here. I'll put that to be red. And now if I select both, then I come at the top here. I can subtract selection. You notice now our triangle has been subtracted from our rectangle. You now notice the shape we have created there. So I can also undo that by simply clicking on Ctrl Z. I can also use the exclude selection so that you now notice where we have an overlap, the selection has been excluded. So that's how you use the exclude selection on top here. You can also decide to use as a mask, where now if I click on the mask, you notice our rectangle has become the mask to our triangle. I can click on share if I want to share it. Then I can add people who can come and edit this. So to add editors, you first move this file from drafts into a project. So I've not added it into a project. And then once I do that, I'm able to click on this link. You see, copy link copied. And then I can share that link with anyone so that anyone else can come and of course help me design my web. But if now I want to present, I click on present so that I can see how my Figma website looks like. And this is now how my website looks like. And so that is how you use Figma to design a website. And if you want to convert this to WordPress, you simply come to plugins here, down here, and then you can use Figma to WordPress. You click on that, and it will be able now to convert for you this website into a WordPress. There's a different tutorial on this, on how to use your tackle to convert this to a WordPress. I hope this has been helpful. Kindly like this video, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.